Did you know that masturbation could quietly harm your health after a certain age? Now, before you jump to conclusions, this isn't a scare tactic. I'm not here to shame or scold. In fact, quite the opposite. What we're talking about today is something many older men experience but rarely talk about. And that silence often leads to misunderstanding, discomfort, and even long-term issues. So, if you're between 60 and 85 and you've ever wondered, is this still safe for me? Or, why does it feel different now? This video is for you. As a prostate doctor with decades of experience, I've seen how common mistakes during solo activity can create real problems over time. Things like urinary issues, pelvic pain, and even emotional side effects that no one ever thinks are related. The truth is, what was fine at 30 doesn't always work the same way at 70. Your body has changed, your hormones have changed, and ignoring those changes can come with a quiet cost. In this video, I'll walk you through 5 specific things older men must avoid during masturbation. These aren't just random guesses or internet myths. Each one is backed by medical experience, patient cases, and what we now understand about aging men's health. If you've ever wanted to keep your private life safe, your prostate healthy, and your confidence strong, this may be the most important few minutes you spend today. Let's get started. Mistake 1. Holding your urine before or during. One of the most overlooked but dangerous habits older men fall into is ignoring the need to urinate before self-pleasure. You might think it's harmless. You might tell yourself, "I'll go after." But what seems like a small delay can lead to serious consequences, especially if you're over 60. Here's why. As men age, the bladder becomes less elastic, the prostate enlarges, and the urinary tract doesn't drain as cleanly or completely. This means that any pressure during arousal, especially pressure directed around the lower pelvis, can push urine backward, trap it in the urethra, or cause leakage at the worst possible time. Some men even experience post-void dribbling. That's embarrassing, uncomfortable, and completely preventable. Medically, there's also a higher risk of urinary tract infections. When leftover urine sits in the tract too long, especially under increased pressure, it becomes a breeding ground for bacteria. Add in the friction from masturbation, and you've got an inflamed system that's more vulnerable to infection. I once treated a 77-year-old man named Carl, who came in thinking he had prostate cancer because of burning, urgency, and nighttime leakage. It turned out he was simply holding his urine too often before his routine, not realizing that his bladder couldn't cope like it used to. There's a psychological angle too. Some older men have been conditioned, perhaps from years of rushed encounters, to ignore body signals or rush through the experience. But ignoring the bladder's message is not a sign of strength or control. It's a sign that we need to slow down and work with the body, not against it. If this sounds familiar, if you've ever finished and then realized you suddenly had to go so bad it hurt, then this message is for you. Make it a rule. Always empty your bladder before. You'll be safer, more comfortable, and your entire experience will feel better, physically and emotionally. Mistake 2. Using tight grip and fast motion. As men age, one of the most common things they don't realize is how their own habits can start working against their body's natural function. A classic example, gripping too tightly or moving too fast during masturbation. It might have felt fine in your 30s or 40s, but now your body's changing, and what once gave you control and satisfaction might now be the very thing causing long-term harm. Here's what I mean. A tight grip creates repeated stress on the penile tissues, especially around the shaft and head. Over time, this can desensitize the nerves that help you feel pleasure. Yes, too much of a good thing can dull the very signals that used to excite you. Some men even begin to notice they can't respond well to a partner anymore, not because they've lost interest, but because their own overuse of pressure has rewired their sensitivity. There's a medical term for this. It's sometimes referred to as death grip syndrome. It's not an official diagnosis, but it's something urologists and sexual health experts encounter all the time. A 69-year-old man named Henry told me he hadn't had a satisfying intimate moment with his wife in nearly 2 years. The reason? He had gotten so used to a very specific, fast and intense style of solo pleasure that his brain no longer responded to normal touch or pace. He hadn't broken anything physically, but he had trained his body to only respond under extreme conditions. That's not freedom. That's a trap. The same goes for speed. Going too fast, especially in older age, can increase your blood pressure, make you feel lightheaded, or even cause arrhythmias if your cardiovascular system is under strain. You're not 25 anymore. Your body wants pleasure, not punishment. And you can still enjoy it deeply by being more intentional, slower and gentler with your rhythm. Masturbation isn't a race. It's not about getting it over with. It's about connecting with yourself in a way that's healthy, safe, and satisfying. So loosen the grip, slow the pace, let your body speak, and more importantly, listen to it. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 2 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move forward. Mistake 3. Ignoring prostate warning signs. Most older men don't connect solo pleasure with prostate health, but they should. The truth is, masturbation can either help or harm your prostate depending on what's going on inside your body. And the biggest mistake, ignoring the little warning signs that something might be wrong. For example, if you notice pain or pressure during or after climax, don't brush it off. It's not just part of getting old. It could be a sign of prostate inflammation, known as prostatitis, or even something more serious like an enlarged or irritated prostate. Some men experience a sharp discomfort behind the scrotum or deep in the pelvic area, especially when sitting for long periods or during bowel movements. If that sounds familiar, your body is asking for attention, not avoidance. Here's where the danger comes in. Some men, out of habit or frustration, continue masturbating even when they're in pain, thinking it'll go away on its own. But repetitive strain or continued pressure on an already inflamed prostate can make things worse. It's like running on a twisted ankle. You're not healing. It's slowly breaking down further. One man I spoke with, Tom, aged 74, ignored his symptoms for nearly a year. He thought the discomfort was just part of aging and kept going about his routine. But when he finally got checked, his doctor found signs of chronic prostatitis that had gone untreated for too long. His recovery took much longer than it would have if he had paid attention early on. And it's not just about pain. If you start noticing a weaker stream when you urinate, increased frequency, especially at night, or a sense of incomplete emptying, those are all signs your prostate may be swelling. Masturbation with those symptoms may add further irritation and delay healing. The takeaway is simple. Your body whispers before it screams. Pay attention to those whispers, adjust your habits, rest when needed, and don't be afraid to bring it up with your doctor. You're not being weak, you're being smart. Because real strength isn't about pushing through pain, it's about knowing when to stop and take care of what matters. Mistake 4. Using harmful aids or objects in old age. What you use during solo moments matters just as much as how often you do it. And unfortunately, many older men turn to tools, objects or aids that seem harmless but quietly do real harm. This is one of the most overlooked dangers of masturbation in later life. Some men use lotions, oils or gels without reading the labels, What they don't know is that certain chemical ingredients, especially those with alcohol, parabens, or synthetic scents, can irritate the skin, disrupt the natural pH of intimate areas, and even trigger allergic reactions over time. For men with thinner, aging skin, this kind of irritation can take days or even weeks to heal. And if there's already minor damage to the skin barrier, it opens the door to infection. Then there's the issue of using inappropriate objects or pressure tools. Many men, feeling less sensitivity than in their younger years, try to enhance the experience using items not designed for that part of the body, like household items or devices without proper safety standards. But here's the risk. What might seem clever or satisfying in the moment could cause microscopic tears, nerve strain, or worse, damage to blood vessels. For men with prostate issues or circulatory problems, that's a ticking time bomb. I once spoke with a man named Walter, 68, who had quietly used a homemade device for years. He never had an issue, until one day he didn't heal. He ended up in the emergency room with a minor but painful injury that took months to recover from. And the emotional toll, embarrassment, regret, discomfort, was heavier than he'd expected. Even sex toys, if not cleaned properly, can become breeding grounds for bacteria. And for men with lower immunity or healing capacity, especially after 70, that's not something you want to gamble on. Your skin, your tissues, your prostate, they all need more care and gentleness now than ever before. So what's the wiser path? Stick with body-safe products designed for older skin. Avoid anything that feels too tight, rough, or artificial. Choose natural lubricants without chemicals. And if you're unsure, always ask a professional. You're not being silly. You're being responsible. Because the small decisions you make in private moments can quietly protect or quietly harm your health. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 4 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move forward. Mistake 5. Masturbating right before sleep without recovery time. As strange as it might sound, timing really matters, especially as you get older. Masturbating right before going to sleep without giving your body time to calm down, breathe, and recover can quietly affect your quality of rest and overall energy the next day. Here's why. After orgasm, your body enters a parasympathetic state, which is supposed to help you relax. But in older adults, the hormonal shift and nervous system response can sometimes go in the opposite direction, leaving you overstimulated or with disrupted sleep cycles. You may think it helps you fall asleep, but many seniors find themselves waking up more often, feeling unrested, or even having vivid dreams that disturb deeper stages of sleep. There's also the issue of prostate pressure. When a man ejaculates, especially in a lying down position, the prostate gland contracts and then slowly relaxes. But without moving, walking around, or allowing circulation to normalize, it can leave the pelvic region feeling congested or inflamed. That can lead to discomfort the next morning, tightness, a dull ache, or even difficulty urinating. A man named Dennis, 73, once told me he couldn't understand why his lower back and pelvis always felt sore when he got up. After some conversation, it turned out he was regularly masturbating while lying down and falling asleep immediately afterward. Once he changed his routine, giving himself 10 to 15 minutes of light stretching or walking afterward, the pain disappeared. That small change made a big difference. Older men need more recovery time. Your nervous system is slower to reset. Your muscles and glands need more circulation. Rushing straight into bed after release doesn't give your body that chance. It's like doing a workout and skipping the cool down. Your body pays the price the next day. Instead, if you do choose to masturbate in the evening, follow it with something gentle. Sit quietly, drink some water, breathe deeply, and allow your body to ease back into a resting state. This helps regulate your hormones, calm your nervous system, and improve the quality of your sleep. In old age, energy becomes a precious currency, so don't spend it all right before bed and expect to wake up rich. Final thoughts. Brunman, if you've made it this far, I want to say thank you for your curiosity, your openness, and your care for your body. This isn't the kind of topic most people are comfortable talking about, especially not at an older age. But the truth is, staying informed and making small, wise choices can make all the difference, not just in how long we live, but in how well we live. Masturbation in old age isn't wrong, shameful, or something to hide. It's a part of being human. But like all things in later life, it deserves more care, more awareness, and more kindness toward ourselves. What worked when you were 30 or 40 might not work the same now, and that's okay. Your body is different, your nervous system is different, and your needs are different. Honoring that is not weakness, it's wisdom. So I ask you, was there something in today's video that made you stop and think? Maybe a habit you never questioned before, or a tip you'll try from now on? Thank you for joining us today. We'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below and share one thing you learned today and how you plan to use it in your life. Your thoughts are important to us, so don't hesitate to share them. Reading your comments gives us great motivation and encouragement. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.